And we welcome you back to NewsMax Now. I'm John Bachman.
And I'm Miranda Kahn. Ever wonder what the biggest name in politics are tweeting out? Come on, sure you do. Today's Rehash is bringing you the latest on what's trending on Twitter.
Well, yesterday, thousands of minimum wage workers across the nation protested for higher wages, taking to the streets, yielding signs and chanting for change. Their protests sparking the Twitter hashtag #FightFor15 or $15 an hour. Our reporters took to social media to find out the very best tweets generated from that hashtag and if they're getting traction.
Now here you have it. The streets of New York City came alive with protesters just after business hours. You can see here, Fast Food Forward tweeted out a photo of the Fight for 15 march. The march blocked off numerous intersections throughout the evening.
Well, McDonald's workers were not the only ones protesting outside of Mickey D's. Here you can see construction workers holding signs that read "Make the Road New York."
Not easy to say, though, right?
Yeah.
Fight for 15 Chicago tweeted out a photo of Brink security workers on strike. Chicago security workers were also inspired by the protest.
And Ferguson did not miss a chance to protest. Here you can see union workers and protesters, hopefully we'll see this in a second, marching together for the Fight for 15.
And Fort Lauderdale Airport had a few setbacks when protesters crowded the gates. The workers demanded equal pay to their neighboring airport in Miami.
Also, political figures weighing in. Let's see what Chuck Schumer said on Twitter yesterday. Quote, "Nearly 2/3 of American households earn less now than in 2002. Stand up for higher wages, better jobs, and stronger families."
Vice President of Business and Culture for MRC, Dan Gaynor, was less excited about Fight for 15, tweeting this: "Really want to earn more? Don't demand hashtag Fight for 15. Get enough skills to deserve $15 an hour." Ouch.
And again, this is something that the Democrats have been using going back years to try and create a wedge again between Republicans and blue-collar voters. Elizabeth Warren, who's a champion of a lot of progressives, took home the most retweets for the day, which you'd expect. She's got a lot of followers paying close attention to this issue. Raising the minimum wage is about economics, but it's also about our values. Nobody who works full-time should live in poverty.
And I agree that no one should have to work and live in poverty as well. It's always interesting to see what's trending on Twitter, isn't it?
Of course.
Wow, like
Rehash, that's our segment. That's
yeah.
how we take care of that. We really try to get some of the more resonating tweets, folks that are getting a lot of traction like that one with Elizabeth Warren.
That
for
definitely
better,
didn't it?
Or for worse. And now we're going to take a look, and we had an issue with this today. This is why we do this segment, kind of a case study as to why. We like to call this real or fake. You got a preview of this yesterday. Some stories seem perhaps too good to be true, or maybe too strange to not be true or to be fiction. You may have seen this report earlier today circulating around. Reportedly, Nancy Reagan was going to support Hillary Clinton for president. It turns out, even though Bloomberg fell for this story,
Drudge Report
also had it up there as well. And we were going to go with it today, too, until we found it was, oops, as Bloomberg says, it was fake.
Ouch.
We all fell for the hoax. They said, apologies. Well, apology accepted. Nobody's perfect. And it happens from time to time. So let's move on to some other stories that may or may not be real. You be the judge. Comcast is now, of course, well known for its customer service. In fact, Comcast's merger with Time Warner last year prompted a lot of questions from concerned customers that went unanswered. Funny or Die launched a viral video just before the merger describing how the cable companies really don't do much to take on customer service. The video received over 500,000 views in just a few days, so I guess people can relate, which leads to our first headline here. First, Comcast customer had trouble canceling his service even after his house burned to the ground.
Is it real or fake?
I'm going to say real.
You're going to say real?
Because I've actually tried to cancel my Comcast before without success. What's the answer?
The answer is real. You got it.
All right, moving on to our next story. Go ahead, Miranda.
You ready? 66-year-old Jimmy Ware from Minnesota tragically lost everything when his house burned down last Wednesday, including his account number. Without his account number, Comcast was unable to cancel his service. Oh, I'm sorry, am I reading the same story? Unable to cancel his service, so the man's daughter asked Comcast. No, I'm not. So the man's daughter asked Comcast to either cancel his service or send someone out to fix it.
Comcast has some explaining to do. They also had those issues earlier, Miranda, where they were changing the customers' names on their accounts to less than flattering monikers. Maybe some lawsuits in the works there. We got more coming up here on NewsMax Now. We're back.